You old fellows just won't give up, will you? Do you think I, the Demon God Emperor, am afraid to kill you? The Demon God Emperor said coldly. The aged voice spoke again. Of course, your majesty dares to do anything. You are the strongest in the world, after all. But speaking of age, we are far from being as old as your majesty. We can't bear the label of old folks. At this moment, the six figures had already flown above the city walls, completely blocking the overwhelming mental pressure of the Demon God Emperor. The soldiers of the demon-slaying pass on the city walls could finally see their appearance clearly. A knight in dazzling orange armor led the group, tall and robust, with his entire body covered by the armor, including his head. He carried a large orange shield in his left hand and a giant sword emitting radiant sunlight in his right hand, with 9 clusters of brilliance shining on the sword. Resembling 9 small suns, most shocking was the dragon beneath the knight. It was a true red dragon, its body over 50 meters long, surrounded by a viscous red elemental glow. Strangely, the dragon's aura seemed to merge with that of the knight in the orange armor. Beside the knight stood a warrior even more burly, over 2 meters 20 in height, with broad shoulders that seemed capable of tearing the heavens and earth apart even with the armor obstructing the view. His weapons were peculiar, a blood-red giant axe in his left hand and a blue-purple giant hammer in his right. He exuded a wild and fierce aura, as if he could split the world apart at any moment. On the other side of the knight was a figure that appeared elusive and black, like a black smoke cloud, impossible to discern his true form. However, that trace of darkness was exceptionally sharp, creating fine black cracks in the air around it. Behind the knight and the warrior were 3 females, all covered in magic cloaks that concealed their appearance. Among them, one wore a spotless white robe with a golden 12-winged angel pattern on the back. This robe represented the highest position of a priest, and even the current pope's attire could only match this holy garment with additional crowns and scepters. She held a 3-meter-long staff in her hand, which looked like a tree branch, but it was as white as jade. 2 pale golden fruits hung from the staff. Beside the priest was a woman in a gold-colored robe. The intense elemental glow around her robe illuminated the entire demon-slaying pass, yet surprisingly, her radiance was not blinding. It dispelled the fear in everyone's hearts and brought a warm feeling like spring. Her staff looked more normal, also gold-colored, with 6 fist-sized transparent gemstones on its tip. Although there were no obvious signs on her, anyone could guess that she must be a 9th-order archmage, the most mysterious and unpredictable top-tier expert among the 6 great temples. On the other side of the priest was another woman in a blue robe. A faintly glowing azure portal appeared behind her, and numerous varying-sized portals emitted strange light around her body. She was a spirit walker, capable of communicating with countless planes. After reaching the 9th order, she was the most mysterious and unpredictable top expert among the 6 great temples. These 6 people rose into the sky, confronting the Demon God Emperor across the distance. Surprisingly, all 6 were at the 9th order, and their previous suppression seemed to have vanished. As the demon-slaying pass immediately regained its vigor, Saint Martial Exarch floated nearby, his eyes filled with uncertainty. You are the demon god Celestials. So the legends were true. You are still alive. The knight, who emitted the aged voice, spoke faintly. Naturally, we don't want to confront you head-on. After all, we are not certain we can kill your majesty. But your majesty should also be aware that we have a 20% chance of dying with you, and a 30% chance of severely injuring you, if you insist on destroying my demon-slaying pass. My human race doesn't mind engaging in a holy war with the demon race. Your demon race may not necessarily achieve final victory. The statement that they had a 20% chance to die alongside the Demon God Emperor sounded like a show of weakness, but it was shocking to the soldiers on the demon-slaying pass. The existence of the Demon God Emperor was an unbeatable invincible force. These 6 human powerhouses had a chance to face him head-on, showing their extraordinary cultivation. The Demon God Emperor fell silent for a moment, his handsome and sinister face displaying a hint of contemplation. It was evident that he also harbored some fear towards these 6 individuals. The mere prospect of a 20% chance of perishing together was not to be taken lightly. If he were to suddenly fall, the blow to the demon clan would be immeasurable. Over the past 1,000 years, the human 6 great temples had developed rapidly, and it had become difficult for the demon clan to gain an advantage in battles against them. Especially with the vast number of magical weapons possessed by humans, the damage inflicted on the demon clan was substantial. Though on the plains, humans were still unable to contend directly with the demon clan. A desperate, all-out attack might not be so advantageous to the demons. In such a situation, the demons might not necessarily gain the upper hand. Furthermore, the demon clan was highly centralized, and without the Demon God Emperor's leadership, they would become divided and weak until a new Demon God Emperor grew up. These considerations compelled the Demon God Emperor to hesitate and not recklessly take risks. Even if the odds were only 10%, very well, we have known each other for many years. I will use my divine sense to search the Driven Demon Pass, and you must not obstruct me. If I don't find what I'm looking for, I will leave. If I find it, you will hand it over, and I may spare you from my attack. Otherwise, even if it costs me, I will raze this place to the ground today, said the Demon God Emperor in a calm and cold tone. His words were plain, carrying a hint of coldness, but to the 6 human powerhouses, they were filled with shock. They feared the Demon God Emperor, but their fear of him was tenfold. Among the humans, they were the only ones who could restrain the Demon God Emperor. If they were to perish in the driven demon pass without inflicting any significant damage on the demon god emperor, then the indomitable demon clan would be unstoppable, and the humans would be unable to stop them at any pass. A devastating war of extermination was something neither humans nor demons wished to see. It would be an endless battle with both sides suffering heavy losses. The 6 human powerhouses fell into silence. A faint golden light spread from the leader of the group, enveloping all 6 of them, as if they were discussing something. After a moment, the lead knight spoke in a deep voice, "All right, your majesty, please search. We won't interfere." They didn't know what the demon god emperor was looking for. If it turned out that the driven demon pass indeed had what he sought, they could decide whether to hand it over after he found it. On the other hand, if the demon god emperor didn't find what he was looking for, the immediate crisis would naturally be resolved. Among the humans, no one understood the demon god emperor better than them. At least, this demon lord had some reputation. That was his dignity, not to be violated. The demon god emperor snorted coldly, and in an instant, the blackness spread across the sky. The entire sky above the driven demon pass turned pitch black, and an intangible mental fluctuation descended like a drizzle, shrouding every corner of the pass. Dragonhauchen felt as if he had instantly plunged into an immense and boundless ocean. It seemed that this vast mental force was targeting him alone, and in this vast and immense energy, he could hardly escape its grasp. Everyone present had similar thoughts to Dragonhauchen. Their faces turned pale. Such a terrifying mental power was beyond imagination. Suddenly, Dragonhauchen felt a heat within him, and then, his 3,000 points of inner spirit power surged, flowing along a special path quietly. Faint golden patterns appeared on his forehead, but this time, they were not purple but rather a light golden color. The people around were all focused on the demon god emperor and the 6 human powerhouses. So no one noticed the subtle changes happening to Dragonhauchen. But he was shocked. Could it be that he was using his powers? Thinking about the 3-headed demonic beast that the demon god emperor sought, Dragonhauchen's face changed. Could it be that this ruler of the demons was after the moonlight? The moonlight's 3 heads had already opened their eyes, and its aura had converged to the utmost. Little Fire and Little Ching were lying prone, while Little Guang was tilting its head back, emanating golden light from its eyes. If one paid close attention, they would realize that the light attribute aura it emitted was exactly the same as Dragonhauchen's. Not only that, a layer of golden light spread over the scales on Moonlight's body, as if its entire body had changed color. If Dragonhauchen were here, he would surely guess that Moonlight was now using the bloodline of the Light Sun to disguise its own aura. When it first arrived in this world, it had already undergone the purification of the Light Sun's bloodline, making the aura of the Light Sun's bloodline a part of its own. At this moment, it was cleverly stimulating this part of its bloodline, temporarily transforming its aura while hiding its original essence within. The demon god emperor hovered silently in midair. And suddenly, a hint of peculiarity flashed in his eyes as he glanced towards the city walls of the exorcism fortress. Half an hour had passed, and both the demons and humans were on edge, prepared for either an attack or an all-out battle. They all waited patiently for the outcome to unfold. Finally, the dark aura above the exorcism fortress slowly receded, and the demon god emperor waved his long sleeves beside him. "It seems that my information was wrong," he said. The 6 human powerhouses on the other side were astonished to see a sense of relief and relaxation in the demon god emperor's eyes. They couldn't help but wonder what important thing the emperor was seeking, for even an existence like him would be nervous, personally coming and willing to take any risk to obtain it. The knight in orange armor spoke calmly. "In that case, your majesty, please honor your previous promise." The demon god emperor nodded slightly. Suddenly, he smiled. A faint and eerie smile that exuded a special charm. "Actually, I'm very curious. How long can you 6 survive, and how long can you stop me? This world will eventually belong to us. However, you don't need to worry, as I no longer crave the slaughter of humans so much. After all, there are many things that humans possess, which we demons also need. Knowledge, for instance." The knight's face was covered by a helmet, concealing his expression. And his voice seemed even more indifferent. "We do not doubt your majesty's words. However, your majesty must also be cautious not to give us any opportunities. We, the fallen demons, have already harvested the lives of 39 demon gods in the past 300 years. If your majesty becomes the 40th, then our lives would undoubtedly be perfect." The demon god emperor suddenly laughed brightly. "Actually, I don't want you to die. In this world, if there are no opponents left, wouldn't life be boring? I might as well tell you that the chance of you and I perishing together is only 5%. Because I am the 3rd demon god emperor in history to break through 1,000,000 spiritual power. Beyond 1,000,000, it's a realm you can't possibly reach. Farewell." The demon god emperor's indifferent smile was enough to remain etched in everyone's minds. In the next moment, wearing a magnificent black robe, he turned and disappeared into the enormous golden light and shadow. All the darkness in the sky vanished as if melting snow. The invisible demon army revealed themselves again and calmly withdrew, retreating in an orderly and composed manner. The 6 human powerhouses remained suspended in midair, motionless, merely watching the gradually disappearing golden light. This time, the demons disappeared completely. Not only did the demon god emperor leave, even the demon army attacking the exorcism fortress retreated like receding tide. Their camp had vanished completely, as if they had made up their minds to either launch an all-out attack or withdraw completely. Watching the demon army slowly vanish into the distance, many people on the city walls felt utterly exhausted. Even when facing a battle to the death with the demons, they would not feel so drained. However, during that brief period not too long ago, the mental pressure the demon god emperor brought upon them was just too overwhelming. 6 predecessors. The demons have retreated. Please rest in the exorcism city, Saint Moonxia said respectfully to the 6 powerful figures suspended in the front of the city walls. The 6 individuals turned slowly, but they did not ascend to the city walls.